Welcome to You Time with Sina Wing. The purpose of this podcast is to provide tips and ideas and examples of things that you can do to take better care of yourself by making you your number one priority so that you can be the best self to other people in your life, in different areas of your life. So today I wanted to talk to you about vision boards. This is something that takes a little time to put together and a little thought, but once you have done it, it really has the ability to impact your life. It's something that, I think we've been doing our whole lives without calling them vision boards. I remember as a kid cutting out quotes from magazines and pictures of things that I wanted or dreamed about, or if I was creating my dream home or fashion tips or anything of that sort. And then, as we get older, there's different ways to do it. I had done it as a kid, of course, and it wasn't until I watched The Secret. I'm blanking on the name of who produced it, but there was a book first, and then there was a DVD. And there are a number of secrets, but basically it's you build it and it will come concept. And they show really spine-tingling examples of people who have practiced visualization and made their dreams come true. So I had, as an adult, let go of this practice. And I decided at the end of the year, last year in 2017, I was going to create a vision board for myself. And it's amazing what had happened. So I'm going to share with you what things that I did or what my goals were for 2018 and how my progress to date, mid-December 2018, how I did. So first I divided up different sections. Oh, and by the way, I used Pinterest as a way to create my vision board. It is fantastic. You can search for different things and pin them. I chose to keep my account private because these were just for me. You can, make them public or whatever. That's your choice. But it's great if you are skimming through, or if you're, in other media, you can just save it to your pin and add it to your vision board. So for me, I set aside several different categories. The first one was health and fitness. The second one was travel. The third one was career related. The fourth one was my finances. Then I wanted to focus on celebrations. I wanted to redo my kitchen. I wanted to practice some affirmations. So here is where I am: health and fitness. I started off with pictures of myself at healthy weights where I was happy and I felt like healthy and pretty and radiant and had a lot of self-confidence. So things that I did and chose to put on my vision board were old pictures of myself, clothes that I wanted to fit into, and even a bathing suit that I wanted to reward myself with. So I have lost a total of 75 pounds to date. With Weight Watchers, actually, and with Pilates. I'll do more information about that at some future date. So in 2018 itself, I lost an additional 20 pounds and I reached what was my Weight Watchers goal. And actually, I have surpassed that, and I have just a couple pounds to my ultimate goal, but I'm not really worried that I'm going to make that because the holidays are coming up and I give myself permission to be a little less rigid. All right, so the next area that I focused on was travel. Travel is one of my hugest, most important luxury things that I love to do. I was very fortunate to grow up traveling, and I am planning on doing another podcast on travel, but I will tell you the things that I had listed in my travel section of my vision board. One was going to a very specific luxury resort in Maine. One was a beach day trip close to us here in Massachusetts. The big one for me was a trip to Barcelona, and a couple of different camping trips, because even though I'm pretty girly, I actually really, really enjoy camping. So this is what happened. I spent the weekend at the luxury resort that I had planned for. I went on that beach day trip with my son, and it was fantastic. I spent the whole day boogie boarding with him in the water, and I felt like a kid again, and it was awesome. So the big one was this trip to Barcelona, and somehow I scraped together the money. I found great deals on Expedia, or Travelocity, I'm not sure which one. And I booked a trip to Spain. It cost me $1,000 a person. I went with someone else, and that included airfare and room and board for a direct flight from Boston to Barcelona, and it included 6 nights at a hotel. And it was a new hotel, so it was kind of a gamble, but it was fabulous. And it was bigger and better and more amazing than I could ever have imagined. So one of the things that I also had on my vision board was one particular camping trip to a fabulous state park in Vermont. It's called Button Bay. It's really beautiful. I did not make it to Button Bay because some things changed in my life, and I did a lot less camping this summer than I had hoped to, so that didn't happen. But I had some new dreams since that wasn't happening. One was to reconnect with my beloved college roommate, so I took a long weekend and went to Pittsburgh to visit her. And then I decided, and this was a really big one, was that I was going to take a solo trip to Bermuda. I don't know how I made it happen. Again, I put together $1,100 and did my research and found a really good deal and went by myself for 5 days to Bermuda. It was literally one of the most empowering experiences of my life. Again, probably we'll talk more about this in a future episode on travel, but really empowering. And my point here is that I dreamed big. I made almost all my dreams happen, but then I added new dreams and I went bigger and bigger, and I made those dreams come true. So the third area I wanted to focus on as my career. I work as a project manager for a large company, and my commute is about 2 hours one way. So I really wanted to talk to my boss about the possibility of working from home more often, and that happened. So now I work from home 3 to 4 days a week. I have a cute little home office, and it is my space, and it's, allowed me to spend more time with my son, and I'll do an exercise routine that I really love, which is Pilates. And it also allows me to do things like make podcasts because I have just more time. The fourth area that I wanted to concentrate on in my 2018 vision board were my finances. I live paycheck to paycheck, and it's one of those things where my life gets bigger and bigger, and I choose to spend more money on things, but I still, even though I make a very reasonable salary, I still wanted to put a little money into savings. So there are some great tips out there on how to save certain amounts of money by certain times. Like I found this one was how to save $3,000 in 1 year, and that was my goal. So here's where I went with that. First, I looked at my savings account and I thought, wow, I didn't do this. That's too bad. But then I looked at it and I found that wasn't really congruent with the other things on my vision board. Of course, if I wanted to travel to Barcelona, and of course, if I wanted to do a major home renovation, which I'll talk about later, it was kind of not really making a lot of sense that I was going to be saving money. But I did something really cool when I was taking inventory of my goals a couple of weeks ago. I looked at what I had in my savings and I said, well, I'm a little bit off at that. But then I looked at the money I had contributed to my IRA, and guess what? Those two amounts were $3.04 off from what my financial goal for 2018 was. And that was amazing. So of course, right away, I transferred $3.04 into my savings account to make sure I could check that off the list. Another area that I wanted to focus on was celebrations. This is just ways to, take pause and savor special moments. So I had pictures of champagne and I had a picture of a tattoo I've been thinking about for a while to really celebrate myself. So I did have plenty of occasions where I was able to indulge in champagne, like New Year's Eve, like on my fabulous trip to Bermuda, in champagne in Barcelona. It's called Cava in Barcelona. And then in August, I got myself a tattoo. It is a nautical tattoo right in the middle of my back. And it is to remind me that sometimes I may get lost, but I always find my way home. And I actually have a poster of it in my living room. It's not, of my tattoo, but it's a nautical compass. And I have the one on my back. So I definitely feel like I met or even exceeded my celebration goals. Now, for the really big one, I decided that I wanted to do a kitchen renovation. And it started small with maybe just repainting my cabinets, but it ended up being gutting my kitchen to the studs. Now, I will say that I really paid for just materials for this. My former partner was a contractor, and he and I and my son did this all together. I was the one who actually created the vision board. I pictured out every detail from the cabinets to the hardware to the finishing touches, the color scheme, everything. And guess what? It happened. And it is gorgeous. It is like magazine quality, and it is my dream kitchen. So again, in this area, I even exceeded. I had taken out a loan to do the kitchen, and I had plenty of money left over. So this turned into basically renovating 3 additional rooms in my house. I did the dining room, took off the wallpaper, painted the walls, changed the trim, and put in hardwood floors and bought a new furniture set. In my living room, painted, new trim, new flooring, new furniture, new art, and I whitewashed my fireplace and put a rustic mantle over it, and I totally love it. I also redid the flooring in a little hallway, and then I refloored and painted my bedroom and filled it with new artwork and things that really made it feel like my space. Another area that I wanted to focus on in my vision board was affirmations. A few things that I did for affirmation was looking at different quotes and inspiring words to help me get through the tough days and focus on the positive. And I saved a number of these in my Pinterest and read them all the time. I also did some other tricks that I will talk about later in a future podcast. So that is the summary of my vision board experience. It was really empowering and really great. And I can't believe I made all my dreams come true. So I urge you to take some time for yourself and create your own vision board. It can be low tech or it can be high tech, and just check in with it often. Picture yourself living that life. And if you take that time for you, you can make you a better you. And that is the end of this podcast. Follow me on Instagram, Cinna Wing. If you have any critiques or questions or comments or ideas for future podcasts, feel free to email me at youtime2019@gmail.com. That's youtime, all one word, 2019 @gmail. I'm wishing you a really great day, and I hope all your dreams come true.